Hey guys, I am going live right now, and this is guide number 9, take 1, and I'm going to talk all about my tech setup. And 3, 2, 1, action. So, the reason I am doing this video on this live platform on Facebook is not because this is going to help you make more money. It's not because it's going to help you get better at video. It's not for any other reason than everybody's asking me for it. You have no idea how many times I get DM'd every single day talking about how do you write on the screen? How do you do this? How do you do that? How do you get the camera to move back and forth? So the reason I'm making this video is for you who might be interested in doing something similar to this, to set this up, to kind of get a high level view so that you can go out and create something like that for yourself. By the way, I also do have a service where we do this for you remotely. We help you to kind of figure out what would be best for your brand, your situation, and we remotely set this stuff up for you with some consulting sessions. But the reason I'm doing this is because I want you to stop focusing so much on the tech and really steer your focus toward storytelling, toward getting to your first 100 videos, toward overcoming the imposter syndrome, toward every other thing that matters 100 times more to you actually making money, because this is the video marketing group. Everything in here is going to help you to create video even better. But it's not, all this tech comes after you use your phone and you actually earn some money with what you have without spending anything extra and using that money to upgrade your tech later. If you do it in the wrong order, it is a vicious cycle. You're gonna shoot video and then you're gonna feel it's not good enough. And what's going on here is it's an avoidance strategy that's happening inside your brain. You feel like you're in momentum, right? You feel like, oh, if I buy this thing, if I set this thing up, if I take another tutorial and use this filter and that and the other, guys, all those things, they're not gonna help you make more money. What's gonna help you make more money is storytelling skills. It's confidence. It's connecting with the audience. It's understanding and being able to articulate your audience's frustration and problems for them better than they can for themselves. That is where the money is. All this tech stuff, this is just fun. And if I'm honest, it does get me a bit more attention. But to actually connect that to making more money, that's a bit of a stretch. Unless you're already making money, that might elevate your status a little bit. But if you're doing it the wrong way around, it's not going to help you. It's just going to slow you down. So specifically, let me just take a seat here. Specifically, some of the things that you guys have asked me about is how do I do this kind of stuff, right? Where I am doing stuff like putting stuff on the screen like this, showing models and being able to animate stuff like this, and it actually is really useful. And you can't really see it so well here. Let me switch to my other camera over here. You can see as I'm building through this stuff, people have seen me do this, and I'm able to, draw on the screen as I go. You can say, hey, you know what? This is the video funnel, right? What do we need for the video funnel? We need to promote, produce, and we need to profit, right? And I talk people through this stuff. And this kind of stuff kind of gets people interested. Now, I'm just going to open the comments and reactions up for a second. Guys, I see there's about 6 of you hanging out here online with me. If you can hear me, if you can see me, do me a favor, type hashtag live right down below in the comments, and I want to bring you up in this conversation. Also, any questions you have about my tech setup, today is your day to ask, because I'm telling you what, I'm not going to do this often. I just want to clear the air here and get all these things, all these distractions out of the way so that you can focus more on storytelling. Type hashtag live if you're watching this live, and type hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. So, let me just run this slide back, right? I'm gonna show you how I have all this stuff set up. And this is gonna be, oops, wrong one. This is gonna be a lot of fun. So for example, a lot of people have models. This, 3-circle Venn diagram. This is a very, very useful model in coaching. Hey, good to see you. Joe Nicasio is watching live, and somebody else is saying, what's up, Ken, live? I can't see your face though. Okay, so this Venn diagram model, this is something that I use. Somebody named Simon Bowen has shared some very cool information on how to use this in sales and in training. And this is a really, really effective use of it. So for example, I could say, by the way, we're gonna talk about the video funnel today. And the video funnel is the intersection of 3 main things. And those 3 things are how can you produce, promote, and profit making video. And let's look for a moment at promote. There's three main ways we're going to talk about promoting, through email, through organic exposure, and through paid exposure. And if we look really closely at what's really in the middle, it's broken up into 5 main steps. And these 5 steps are da 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 da. And most people, they're going to focus right here on the very bottom because they think that's where all the money is. And so on and so forth. So I could be animating stuff, I could be drawing on my screen, I could be presenting, and this kind of setup, you know, a lot of people find it pretty attractive. So let's talk about what's inside and how this works. So, guys, by the way, guys, I see there's like 6 people watching, and before I go into revealing all this tech, I just need a couple people to type #value if you're getting value out of this so far, and if you're getting value out of the rest of the stuff that I do online inside this group. Type #value, and then we're going to go into and do a quick breakdown on how all of my tech is set up and what I'm using, and I'll just point it through one by one, and all you got to do is type #value. I need at least 2 people, all right? Come on, do this for me. Do this for me. Value from Joe Nicasio, thank you. And value just joined. Okay, I got 3 people. Good enough. Let's do this. So first of all, I'm going to turn this off for a second. And let's see. So let's talk about this. What do I have going on right here? Hold on. Here we go. So I brought this mirror here to see if we might be able to demonstrate what's going on. So I'm trying to aim it there. That right there is called a slider. And I've got a camera on a slider, and this slider is motorized, and it's just programmed to go back and forth, back and forth. And I've got an HDMI cable that just loops around and comes down here and connects to the back of my computer. So that's camera number 1. Camera number 2 is right over here. And this is a cheap little camera. It's like $300 and something. And I can switch between these 2 cameras. Now, the third camera, and I'm using air quotes, is an iPad. I've got this iPad here, and this iPad is what's playing all the slides. And you can see how everything is green because using a software called Ecamm, I'm able to take anything green and make it transparent. Now, let's talk about how all this stuff is hooked up. Now, I don't know if there's probably some of you who are going to be like completely geeking out on this stuff. Maybe you're a little bit like me. And there's some people who are going to be like, whoa, this is just way over my head. So if you're not into tech, or you think that you're better off focusing on storytelling, which I think you totally should, then you can go ahead and skip this video. But I think there are some geeks out there, and I am here to help my geek friends. So let's do this. I'm going to open up a... Okay, first of all, let's talk about the tech that's going on inside of drawing on the screen. So I'm going to do this. All right, here we go. Can you all hear me? Yes, I think I'm still there. So I'm going to draw a simple diagram here. Now, by the way, when I'm drawing on the iPad, it's an app called Notability. This is a really old iPad. It's like 5 years old, nothing new. This was, I think, the first iPad that you can use the Apple Pencil on. That's how old it is. You don't need anything new. So this is how everything's hooked up. What I'm seeing is, first of all, as you know, I just got my laptop here, right? Now, I usually have an iPad hooked up right in the front. I've got my main webcam that's sitting right behind my laptop, and I've got another camera that just kind of sits off in the corner, taking the side view. And I'm talking about that one over there, which you just saw earlier. Let's see, let's get this back here. So this might be a little bit rough the way I'm doing this because I have to demonstrate the tech as I'm actually in the tech, so it's a little bit tricky. Anyway, I'll try to stick with me here. So I got 2 cameras, a laptop, and an iPad. And the other piece of tech I've got is called a Stream Deck. And you guys have probably seen me flashing this thing around a bit. Looks like this. All right. And what this is all it is a keypad of 15 buttons. And as you can see, each of these have they have a picture inside. And these are actually just thumbnails for what's going to appear. Watch, if I push this button right here, then you're going to see a 1-minute timer, and I use that inside my trainings. You're going to see this here. This is a 3-minute timer. I programmed all these ahead of time. I use this sometimes when I say, hey, can you guys see the whole screen? I hit that button, turn it on, turn it off. This is my favorite one here. And when I'm on a Zoom call, if I hit that, you'll see it says mute all. You know how there's always somebody in the back of the room or somebody who's making noise, whose mic is unmuted? I hit that button, everybody's muted except for me. One of my favorite features. So anyhow, a little bit of tech background. By the way, guys, if you want me to keep going, type keep going, hashtag keep going. I don't know if I'm boring everybody or if this is fun. I really don't know. So let's just try this. This is really different from all of my other content. So anyhow, we've got the iPad and we've got something called an Elgato Cam Link. Now this thing just looks like a USB drive. And it looks like a stick, and on one side is a USB drive. And on the other side, on the other side, we've got an HDMI female jack. So I'm just gonna kind of show an expanded view of this. Okay, so we've got HDMI on this end and USB on this end. So I've got 3 of these, okay? And I've got a wire that goes from HDMI on my iPad into this thing. And by the way, just look up HDMI USB converter and you can find a lot of these on Amazon. They're like 20 bucks, okay? And this plugs into my laptop. Well, I've got a hub because I don't have enough ports. So it's the exact same thing with this camera, the iPad, and this one. So I've got 3 different sources, right? So this is 1, 2, and 3. Now, all these things plug in to one of these capture cards or converter, whatever you want to call it. Now, this is all going into my MacBook. This, in case you're wondering what model I have, this is a 2019 15-inch, no, 16-inch, I think, yeah, 16-inch MacBook Pro. You know, here's one thing about MacBooks or any computers. My philosophy is always max out everything except for the SSD. So this laptop cost me about $4,600 or $800, somewhere around there. And a lot of people are like, well, that's really expensive. I work with video and I push these things to the max. Even now, this feels slow. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM in this, which was the highest that Apple allowed at the time. And basically what you're buying when you max things out is about 1 or 2 extra years of useful life in that computer. I could have bought the entry level or the average one for maybe $3,000, but I think by now I would have already been in the market for buying a new one. So I keep a computer, my laptops, for roughly between 3 and 4 years, and then I'll get whatever is the most latest powerful one. I'll max it out and I'll buy that. That's my philosophy around it. I think I'm saving money. Maybe. I tell myself that anyway. Okay, so I see a bunch of people came on here. Someone says, keep going, this is fun. Okay, I'm not sure who that is. Someone says HDMI converter. Guys, by the way, up above there's a little link, and if you click that, then I'll be able to see your names and bring them up here. Someone says, hey Ken, what's the best alternative for eCam for PC users? I'll get to that in a second. Really good question. Adam Franklin says, keep going, in all caps. You must have been yelling that. Keep going! Okay, thank you. And okay, a bunch of people saying keep going. Oh, by the way, here's the other thing you want to do. Put your questions into here as we go, because I'm not going to talk about tech very often, but I am now. I'm in the mood. So put your questions there, and I'll hang out here and make sure they all get answered, unless you're going to ask something weird. Don't ask weird stuff. I'll answer, cool stuff, all right? So let's get back into this. So this is the tech setup, and oh, a lot of you have seen I have a Yeti Blue microphone. Now let's see, how can I bring this into the frame? Yeah, this little baby here. Okay, so this thing right now, you'll see, is blinking. That means it's muted. I'm not using this right now. When I do these live style broadcasts, when I face this way and this way, I gotta make sure that the sound is good. This mic is excellent for when I'm only facing here. So when I'm on Zoom calls or doing a really short presentation, then I'll generally use the Yeti mic. But when I'm going between 2 different angles, and I'm moving around the room, then I need something wireless. And you can see, let's see, right there. That is called, see, you can hear that? That is my microphone, and that is a Countryman microphone. This is actually the same, from what I heard, the same type of mic that's used on like the Ellen show, like everybody's wired with these. It's very professional, and just this mic alone, without the transmitter or anything, is about $1,500. So if you're in the professional realm of videography, then that's not going to feel very expensive. If you're used to getting consumer stuff, then that's probably going to feel expensive. So I don't recommend you go out and get one of these unless you're actually going to go pro. Now this is like completely waterproof. I could go swimming with this and it will be fine. So that's the level of, you know, ruggedness that I'm looking at. So that's what I'm using right now. I didn't buy it for this purpose. I just have a lot of gear because I have a video production company, and I actually bought very, very little new stuff for my current setup, including the lights and everything. Okay, so let's go back to this tech setup. Now, we've got 2 cameras, we've got some converters, we've got an iPad, and right here, this thing is the Stream Deck, okay? So this is called a Stream Deck, and all this doesn't actually give any additional functionality, but just think of it as a shortcut keys. And what happens is I run some software on my computer, and that software allows me to map these buttons to activate certain buttons inside of the software I use called Ecamm. So that's the switching thing. And it is cool because the other option is I have to like Command 1, Command 2, Command 3, or actually, you know, click with the mouse. And when you're presenting, you don't really want to have to look down and fiddle with keyboards buttons so much. So that's why I like this. The other thing is the buttons are very soft and quiet. So when I hit them, it doesn't make a sound. And that is better for live presentation because of the noise factor. So let's see, we've talked about my cameras, we've talked about my audio, we've talked about my iPad, and let's talk about, let's just look at some of these questions here. All right, so who is this, guys? Who wrote, Ken, what's the best alternative for Ecamm for PC users? That's a very good question. Let's address that right now. Pronto. So I'm going to switch to my light board and answer that question. I have clients who are Mac users, and I've got clients who are PC users. And for my Mac users, I generally suggest Ecamm because it's pretty easy to use, and it's a pretty stable system. Now, for my PC users, I generally recommend Streamlabs OBS. It's completely free. Streamlabs OBS. And in fact, this works for Mac and Windows. And I haven't found anything that that it can't do that Ecamm can do. And I'm just going to slow down and take that back. Ecamm has this great interview mode where I can get on it's like a Zoom call, but much higher quality and much more flexibility. I could, you know, move people around the screen and stuff and do cool stuff like that. And Streamlabs, as far as I know, doesn't have that functionality. But when it comes to the screenwriting, when it comes to, you know, switching between cameras and stuff and recording at high def, then they both do it all. So Streamlabs OBS is Mac and Windows. The one I'm using I actually use them both. Right now I'm using Ecamm. Ecamm is Mac only. Okay, so that answers that question. Now, let's see here. Adam asks, do you ever experience lag with your Stream Deck commands? You know, I did a while ago, and then I fixed it. So Adam, there was this laggy problem, and I realized that the hub I was plugged into was underpowered. So then I got a more powerful USB hub with external power, and then that completely solved the problem. So if you're having an issue, it might be underpowered, it might be something else, but that's what I found to be the problem when I did it. Adam, you're on a roll here. Can you play, pause Apple Music via Stream Deck? I can on Spotify, but it cannot work out for Apple Music. I have not tried that. I don't know. And someone gives me a thumbs up. Thank you. Here's a thumbs up back to you. Okay, Mike Campbell's asking about green screen overlay with iPad. So let's talk about that. Now, I'm going to try my best to demonstrate this as we go. So there's two ways that you can do this stream thing. Now you see my iPad here, right? All I have is I've loaded a green screen. It's just a PDF into an app called Notability. Now, as I draw on here, you'll see that this overlays on me. Now, I've got a whole nother tutorial on how to set this up. I'm going to take away this other comment here. A whole nother tutorial on how to set this up. You can do this with Windows. You can do this with a Microsoft Surface. You could do this with OBS Streamlabs OBS, or OBS. You could do this with pretty much any streaming software and any Surface tablet. All you got to do is think about how to, so you got layers, right? And let's say that the bottom layer is the video feed of view, right? And then stacked on top of that layer is going to be your green screen. And then if you stack them like this, then whatever gets drawn on this top layer will overlay on top of the video feed of view. So it's just a simple concept, and I invented it because I thought it would be a cool thing to do. I was actually, well, as a video producer, I would do that style a lot, but doing it live was something I didn't understand how to do. So I think that when I started learning Ecamm and I realized that we could do this live, then that was pretty cool. And then everybody started copying me. So that's, Mike is asking, green screen overlay. So how are you writing on the screen? So search inside this group, guys. There is a tutorial that I made. It's inside of here. And just search how to write on the screen. Now, there's a next level to this. There's a next level to writing on the screen. And it's running slides on the screen as you're writing. Now, this is pretty cool, guys. Check this out. Oops, wrong one. So you'll see this is using an app called Keynote, which is an Apple app. Again, PowerPoint will do the same thing, all right? I prefer Keynote. It's just a different interface. Now, as I'm talking, and everybody does these kind of cool models, I can animate these slides. I can say, hey, guess what? Today we're going to talk about something called the video funnel. Now, the video funnel consists of three main things. You've got to produce video, we've got to promote the video, then we're going to profit from the video. Let's talk about these three things. Let's start with promoting. In promoting, there's three main things. Three main methods. We can use our email list, we can use organic exposure, and we can do paid exposure. Now, check this out. As I'm going through this slide, I can pull out my pen, and I can draw right onto the slide. Hey, let's talk about paid exposure. So this is great because this is just using Apple Keynote. And I'm going to show you what it looks like right here. You see here, this is the slide deck. And I'm just, as I draw here, it maps onto the screen. All right, now that's pretty messy because I'm trying to draw backwards and all that. But let's see if I could erase some of that crap. Okay, but if I tap with my finger, yes, I'm in Keynote, Mike's asking. Mike says, Adam says, you're the pioneer. Thank you. Mike is saying I'm cool. Thank you, Mike. And yes, this is Apple Keynote. I'm playing it off my iPad. I build the slides inside of my computer, but then I play them on my iPad. Okay, so let's, now watch. As I tap, I'm going to tap with my finger, and it moves to the next slide, right? At any slide, I can draw. And then that drawing will stay on there until the next slide, not the build. These are all builds within one slide, right? And then that moves to the next slide, and we move in. And all that is there. And at any time, I can draw. I can't draw backwards very well, but I can draw on the screen, and you can see right now I'm not wired to anything because you can actually do this whole thing with AirPlay. If you don't like a bunch of cables, which I don't, just use AirPlay and you get the same effect. You can AirPlay to your computer. Sorry, I must have just bumped my mic there. So that is a little bit of the tech setup, and let's talk about what software do we need to get all this stuff working, and I'm going to draw it out here for you. So the software I use, Mike is asking, where's the tutorial again? inside this group, go to the guides section and you'll see a guide all about how to draw on the screen. I think it's called How Am I Drawing in the Air, something like that, okay? And if you can't find it, DM me and I'll find it and I'll send that to you. So the tech I'm using is when I'm drawing right now on this app, as you can see, this drawing, this is, as you can see, the pen strokes are a bit nicer because they're pressure sensitive. I could do thin or thick, and you don't get that with Keynote. With Keynote, they're all the exact same fatness. So this is something on the iPad called Notability. I think it's like 20 bucks or something. It's a pretty cheap app. And just earlier when you saw the slides animating, that is an app called Keynote. Again, I was using zero extra software. It's just built straight in all those functions, that moving around stuff. It's really easy. I'm not going to give a Keynote tutorial here. There's plenty of free tutorials on YouTube probably. So this is the software I'm using on the iPad. And on my Mac, I am using Ecamm. And that's all. I'm just using Ecamm right now. There's no other software involved. Let me think. Oh, hold on. There is something called Stream Deck, which is pretty much just the software, the companion software that goes with this dongly thingy that keeps it working. And that's about it. That's about it. So I'm going to hang out here for a few more minutes and see if there is any more questions about tech. Ask me anything, because I don't do this often. Ask me anything about my tech setup, my tech stack, and I am going to hang out here. Tech Tuesdays. Is it Tuesday? No, it's Wednesday. No, today's Monday, isn't it? That doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm running out of... I'm going to take off, guys. There's no more questions, right? Are we all good? I see there's 12 people watching. So I'm going to assume that somebody here has some questions about my tech. So I'll hang out here until somebody gets brave enough to ask me a question. Otherwise, I got to leave, because I'm going to start talking about random stuff that doesn't make any sense. Mike says, thanks. Thank you, Michael. Ooh, here's a good question. Who is asking this question? Can you go live on multiple platforms? Yes, you can, and there are multiple ways to do it. Now, if you are, okay, let me draw this out for you. Right now, I'm using Ecamm. And if you want to use Ecamm with these effects, and with Ecamm, you can go to Facebook, YouTube, no, not Instagram. You can do LinkedIn, and of course Twitch and all the gaming stuff. But I'm not gonna do so much the gaming platforms, because I don't think these are gamers mostly watching. But here's the thing, you can only do one at a time. You can either do LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook. Now, I think the question is, can you do them simultaneously, right? So to answer your question, yes, but we need to add one more component in between. So there's a few apps, but the one that works really well with Ecamm, because there's actually a button for that, is called Restream.io, and Restream.io will do multiple platforms simultaneously. So I think that's the question you're asking about. Mike is asking cameras. What cameras am I using? Do you mean like what specific models, Michael? Is that the question? Because this particular model, this is called the FS5 Mark II, and I haven't used this in a while because I haven't traveled. But this is the same camera that's over there. I got a few of them, and this is the one that's getting my side angle. And this one's a little bit expensive. You probably don't want to go there. But the one in front of me is really, really cheap. So let's talk about that. So the webcam, I'm going to call it, it's technically not a webcam, it's a mirrorless camera, but it's a Sony A5100. I think they might be discontinued. They're a bit old, but this cost me, when I first bought it, about 400 bucks. Right now, I mean, most recently when I saw it, it was about 350, and that includes the lens, okay? Now, the other cameras I have, and right now they're gonna be pretty cheap because they're old. But these guys, these babies, they're still really good. But these are called Sony FS5 Mark II. So I think right now you could probably get them for like 3 or 4 grand. When I bought them, it was like 10 grand. But these all have interchangeable lenses. You know, you won't believe this, but this lens can actually come off, and I could technically clip it right onto this camera. It's the same mounting system. That's one reason I stick with Sony, because everything's really compatible. But obviously, if I put it there, I'd probably be smashing my face into the camera right now. So, Mike, does that answer your question about the cameras? I think so. Okay, now Adam is asking, how can I get the edges of notability, of the notability, full width when I do lightboard? So Adam, there's a couple ways to do this. And number one, if you go with AirPlay, like I am right now, I can go all the way to that edge and all the way to this edge. See, I am going all the way to the corners because in AirPlay, it automatically crops the corners for you. There we go. You see, I'm drawing all the way to the corners. Okay, so that's because I'm using AirPlay. And AirPlay is generally from Apple devices to Apple devices. They don't play so well between PCs. So if you have an Apple iPad and an Apple Mac and stuff like that, shouldn't be a problem. Now, if you are using a cable and you have a USB to HDMI converter cable and you're plugging to your computer like that, then there is something called cropping, okay? So you're gonna, let's say this is the iPad screen, right? And usually what's gonna happen is the eCam monitor is gonna be like this, and then you're gonna see all these funny controls and stuff, right? So what you gotta do is you just gotta crop in, and then this dotted line is where you wanna zoom into, and you gotta, in eCam and in Streamlabs and any streaming software I know, you can just expand that thing until the green fills up the whole screen. That's it. All the controls and stuff, you just crop them out. And that generally does the trick. Adam, did that answer your question? Just give me a hashtag value if it did. Let's see here. Mike says yes. I think you're answering to, did answer your question about your cameras, about my cameras. Someone says hashtag live. Thank you for watching live. Hashtag value. And who is this? Guys, oh, Renato. Good to see you. So let's check out this question here. I'm just gonna get rid of all this white crap that's here. And Renato's asking, thanks Ken, have you used Gopro as a webcam? By the way, for some reason you don't see my name in your system. Why? Renato, the reason why I can't see your name is because up above this video there's a little link, and when you click that link, it gives the app permission to show your name. So go ahead and click that link, and I'll be able to see your face. So GoPro as a webcam, I have. Now here's the thing. GoPro has actually pretty good color depth, and it's got really good color science. Now here's the thing about GoPro. It also has something called distortion, and a lot of people who are in extreme sports like that kind of round fisheye look. I'm personally not a fan of that for what we're doing, because I don't want people to I don't like that feeling, because I'm not an action sports guy, at least not when I'm sitting here, right? I want people to focus more on storytelling in a cinematic way. So GoPro is gonna get, like, you can see this wide, it's gonna get like this wide, and you're gonna see all kinds of messy junk that's hanging around my room. Number one, I don't want you to see that. Number two, GoPro, as you can see right now, you see how my books are nicely blurred? That's called bokeh, right? My eyes are nicely focused and lit, the background's blurred, right? GoPro can't do that. It's going to keep everything really sharp and in focus, which is great when things are moving really fast and you want things to be sharp and crisp. But when I do storytelling, I want people to have this kind of, is what some people call cinematic, where the background, you see how those lights, you see how it kind of does that nice blooming effect? That's called bokeh. And that kind of, it's reminiscent of like movies. And I like to set the mood like that. So that's why I don't use GoPro. But if you like the really sharp, tack sharp look, and you don't mind rounded corners or rounded sides or rounded everything, then go for GoPro. I think you'll love it. And let's see. Someone says, woohoo, first time catching Ken live. Woohoo to you too. I don't know who you are. There's a little link above, and if you click that link above this video, then it's gonna give permission to Ecamm to display your name here so we can have a conversation. Mike is asking, where are you based out of and what is your business focus? Really good question. So, Mike, I am right now in Tokyo, Japan. So, number one, Tokyo. Technically, I'm a little bit outside of Tokyo in a place called Saitama, but most people don't know Saitama unless you're from Japan. So I say Tokyo because I'm 30 minutes from the center of Tokyo. So most people, just like people say New York or something, whatever the nearest big city is, right? So based out of Tokyo, and what is your business focus? So I got two main things. Oh, Renato, boom, there you are. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Now I can see your other face. There we go. We're back. Okay, so back to Mike. What is your business focus? Two main things. Number one, I've got, let's see if I can diagram this thing, if it's going to make sense. So this is Ken. Okay, and I own a business called OMG. OMG stands for Oz Media Global. My business is based on, the Oz. A lot of people think Australia. It's kind of cool, but that's not why I started it. That's not why I named it Oz Media Global. Oz is actually for the Wizard of Oz, because when I watched that movie way back when, remember the idea of somebody who understands technology and is able to project images and control an entire civilization was really fascinating to me. And when I started getting to social media, I realized if you understand the psychological buttons to push and the strings to pull, and also the technical know-how around social media and the algorithms, the person who understands all that stuff and is able to pull all those strings from behind the scenes is the person who's going to affect the biggest population. So I think of my audience and myself, sorry, my clients, my agency clients and myself as like the Wizard of Oz. We are able to influence a lot of people by just knowing the right levers to pull, the right strings to pull, and the right buttons to push, and doing it on the right way. So that's my company, OMG, Oz Media Global. Now, we've got two main things. We've got agency, and this is where I have a done-for-you service. We do research, we produce video, we do distribution, and we've been doing this for a very long time. Well, okay, social media is not even that old. So I've been doing this for like 6 years, 5 years, 5 or 6 years, somewhere around there. And you've probably seen a lot of the videos I've made. We've done like 141 million organic views with our videos. So a lot of the top marketers, their videos actually were produced by our company. And so we do the shooting, the conceptualizing, the editing, and posting on social media, boosting it everywhere. Now, that's one side of it. Now, the other side is we do training and coaching. And what happened was there was a lot of people who were really interested. It was like, hey, Ken, can you help me produce video? And when I presented them with the agency package, they're just like, okay, I'm not ready for that. Because it's really best for people who have a proven funnel, right? And they know how to convert traffic. And all they need is a lot more marketing material to feed that fire with. And we produce huge, huge volumes of high quality video. But if you've never sold anything online yet, then you'd probably not be able to really capitalize on all that material, even if you could afford it. So we started training people, and this is called Video Ninja Secrets. So this is where I train people on how to make a video funnel, which is how to shoot a video that's going to get people to pay attention, to watch your video, and to actually take action afterwards. Okay, and also how to actually close sales organically using video. Now here, the main product we have is called 20XA. Oops, that's a 20XA. And the concept behind our agency is if you send us one video, we'll turn it into 20 creatives for you. It's literally 20x. It's not figurative speaking, it's literally send us one video and we'll make 20 creatives. Whether you want a Facebook version of the video, with captions below, you want a quote card, a podcast, a blog article, long form video, short form, micro content, audiogram, all that stuff, we turn it into a whole bunch of stuff and send it back to you. So that's 20XA, That's the agency, and training and coaching. That's the two main things I do. Hope that answered your question. Mike, did that answer your question? Or did I like totally misunderstand it? Someone says hashtag value. Thank you so much. I love providing value. Rodic, oh, back at it again. That's awesome. Eddie says live. Never caught you live before because no idea when you go on live. Here's the thing, Eddie. I go live when I feel like going live. It's a formula. I feel like going live. There's a camera in front of me. I'll go live. No, I do mostly Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I slot it in sometime during the day. Eddie says, woohoo, celebrate. Ooh, look at that. I could change the size. That's very cool. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Again, this is an Ask Me Anything session, and you can ask me anything you like. Mike says, thanks, Ken. And thank you, Mike. Let's see, how do I resize this thing? I don't usually do these comment things so often. Okay. So cool and amazing to learn about what you do. Value for sure as well. I'm glad I could give you some value. Guys, I'm going to check off here. And what I'd like you to do, if you are enjoying the content I'm putting out here, if you're getting value out of it, if you feel like you learned something, if you feel like this has helped you to get clear on what your next steps are for your tech setup, here's the favor I ask of you. The payment for all this, it's not free, by the way. You might think it's free, but it's not. The payment is you got to invite some friends. Who do you know who could use a hint or some direction or some free training around video marketing? Who do you know? I want you to please invite your friends in here, because if you're appreciating it, if you know that this stuff is useful, then there are other people you care about too. And the cost of admission in this group is not cash. What it is invitations. You got to invite your friends in here, bring them in here, allow me to help them as much as I've been able to help you, and then the debt is repaid. Until then, just think of it as like a bar tab, all right? I'm the bartender, I'm giving out free beers, and you got to bring your friends in. I don't know if that works. We're not talking about alcohol. I don't know if that works. Okay, so here we are. Renato says, can you do interviews or group videos? In this, Renato, do you mean, are you requesting me to do it inside of this group? Yes, I can, and I have done a few. I might do more. Eddie says, does that mean when I do not yet have any online proven sales funnel, you're not ready to engage your agency? Eddie, I created a new entry level service. And if you'd like to talk about that, that's fine, because I've had people ask the same thing, like, Ken, I don't have a funnel yet. Can you build the whole funnel? And full disclosure, I like to stay in my lane, which is video making, right? And a lot of people ask me to do all the rest of the stuff. So I actually partnered with the same guys who built funnels and did millions of dollars of sales for people like Grant Cardone, for Tony Robbins, this agency I've worked with for a while. And they actually will partner with me and build out your entire funnel. Automated emails, your website, your conversion, your payment systems, like everything from A to Z. And so this is for people who have zero online sales experience and they need a done-for-you system. So I partner with them. I provide the video creatives. They do the funnel creation and run ads for you and make sure that you're actually making money. So that is something I do. So if you're interested in that, just reach out to me. I'll make an introduction, okay? Raymond says, just got in live. Right here, I invited a bunch of friends. Raymond, thank you so much. Now, how many friends do you have? Could you invite more? That's it, guys. I'm out of here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Again, if you put more questions down below this, then I think that I might be able to get around to them and answer them by text. I prefer to do things live. I'm way more in the moment. Renato says, I'm watching with my 7-year-old who loves video streaming. That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's switch over to the wide angle. And I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me. And if you enjoyed it, again, you know the drill. Invite your friends into this group. That's the cost of admission. I don't ask for money. I just ask for invitations. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.